This is an optics update. It does sound like the score from Birds, doesn't it? Anyway, another case of iffy optics. Tomorrow, the president is going to be talking up the auto bailout. That's fine. But it's at a Ford plant that's shutting down. Why? Because it makes hybrids and they're not selling too well. So it doesn't really look that great. Town halls, Katie Pavlich says, I'm not alone on this. But Katie, apparently the White House was given a heads up by Ford that says, we welcome you here, Mr. President. We think it's a great idea. The auto boom is on, but that particular factory you're going to, it's shutting down because hybrid sales ain't measuring up. So what do you make of that?
You know, out of all, considering that 400,000 new workers have been added to the auto industry since the auto bailout in 2009, I'm not sure why the president and his optics team would choose the one Ford plant that is going to be shut down this week when they're on a tour trying to highlight American workers resurging in the American auto industry. I mean, the jokes write themselves. It's ridiculous.
But, it's a perfect opportunity for him to take a bow to say the auto boom is on. Thank the Lord I rescued him, whether you agree with that or not. Ironically, though, the things that are selling are not the things he's pitching tomorrow. Hybrids aren't hot. Maybe you give this dropping gasoline price environment, it's the gas guzzlers that are hot, and maybe that's the fix he's in.
Well, there's two things here. I mean, as you just mentioned, gas prices are very low, so people aren't running out to buy those hybrid cars. But the fact is that when those gas prices were very high, people still weren't running out to buy these hybrid cars, whether it was Ford or any other brand that was building and selling these hybrid cars. Chevrolet had the same problem with their Volt sales. I mean, these cars are not something that Americans wanted to buy, even when those gas prices were higher. And then, of course, you have this new issue with members of Congress actually saying that they might want to increase the gas tax because why? Well, they force us into all of these fuel-efficient cars, and now they don't have any money for roads and bridges. So they're a product of their own success, and they're punishing Americans for it.
All right. Now, the idea being we always see things through the prism of the moment, and the prism of the moment has these collapsing gas prices. They'll surely reverse. I've lived through more than a few energy crises to know that happens. But I wonder why the president can't seize on this and say, hey, auto sales are humming, the people are buying, and leave it at that, and maybe go to another factory where that is indicative of those job gains. Why push this? Because he is on fire on this other stuff.
Well, the problem here is that the White House is arguing that the auto bailout is complete and that it's been a total success. But when you actually look at the numbers, companies like GM actually still owe the American taxpayer $9 to $11 billion. So the White House really can't argue that. That looks bad as well.
You can make up for that selling a few good Cadillac Escalades, truth be told.
This is true. You can. I don't know how many hybrids you have to sell for that, but the Escalades, that'll get them up to that $9 billion figure in no time, I'm sure. But, this is an indicator of what's to come in President Obama's State of the Union speech, and it looks like maybe more of the same. And it's going to be very difficult to watch tomorrow when he's standing at a plant that is shut down while he's trying to promote American workers inside the auto industry.
Well, I can't understand it. No, I can't understand. I think you're right. He has something to brag about. These are bragging points. Ford has warned him, go anywhere else. This particular facility is bad. It would be like Cylinder if it had given the president a heads up. Mr. President, we're going to shut down. The factory you're going to is going to be a moot point. And his choosing to ignore that. He apparently ignored this, or his people did, and they're not serving him well if that's the case.
Well, and it's definitely a product of, bad optics all around with the administration, and it's either him ignoring it or it's him not holding people accountable in his staff for making him look bad.
Which is why we're keeping that optics alert. Pam, are we able to resurrect that real quickly to let people know we're going to be on this optics thing? This will occasionally appear in this fine show that we're watching you is right. And this graphic, which we spared no expense to put it together. There you go. Your optics update, courtesy with that freaky Hitchcockian Birds noise. All right, thank you, young lady. Great seeing you again.
Thanks, Neil.
Katie Pavlich.